Well, hey everyone, welcome to the super easy Forex kind of trade room. Tonight we're going to kind of go over some super basic stuff because there's a lot of people in the group that have been making interesting choices. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, like I mentioned in the group, is guys, please stop taking signals. I don't care if it's from me, the guy next door. I don't care if you've seen his $1 billion bank account and his Maserati. Like, we have to become proficient in what we see and what we do. So I probably got over 50 messages from people who were either letting somebody manage their account or who were taking signals from somebody else. And coming from somebody who I'll say again, and I've said on other live calls, like I got the opportunity to work with some really, really amazing traders. Like these were traders who they were busting out $100 standard lots. I mean, in public, live on sessions, and they were killing it. But when I took this guy's signals, I'm not going to mention his name, I even created a whole separate account because I thought I was crazy. Like every time I took his signals, I lost the trades. So you're talking, I don't know, I probably blew anywhere from maybe $5,000 to $10,000 in total over the span of a year trying to follow this guy's signals. And clearly he was an amazing trader. Clearly his trades were working for some people, but I definitely wasn't the only person who like just really wasn't being successful taking his trades. So I will say again that we really, really need to make sure we're not taking up people's signals. Like if it comes from me or even Pat or anybody else, you need to see the reason why that trade is being taken. So if I told you right now, hey, buy NZD, GBP NZD, that's great. This is just a demo account, but you still need to be able to check out your indicators, your rules, your reasons, and say, hey, do I agree with this trade? Do I see why I'm entering it? Or don't take the trade. And same goes for letting other people manage your money, because that's just a recipe for disaster. I mean, many of us have gotten caught in money market accounts where big brokerage firms have lost multi-millions of dollars in the span of seconds, and then they disappear off the face of the planet. You'll never hear from them again. So this skill is relatively easy to learn with patience, as long as you guys just stop handing your money over to somebody else. So that's my daughter messaging me. Having said that, it's really important that we create rules. We don't take other people's signals, and we stop letting other people manage our money. Because here's the reality. If you had $100,000 in real life, would you honestly give it to somebody else to say, hey, I trust you to hold this money for me. I trust you to invest it for me. I trust you to like take care of it in every way. Like become a steward over that money. Most of us should not be letting anybody else be a steward over our money, our lives, our finances, our children. I mean, that's up to us to be good, stewards of what we own and what God has entrusted us with. So that's kind of my rant for starters. Are there any questions, comments, or pairs you guys want me to take a look at? Because I did have a topic I kind of wanted to cover tonight. But first, I'll start with that. Any questions, comments, and pairs? You guys know it's a heavy news week for Euro and for USD. So I had to pause my screen sharing because it disappeared on my Zoom. So you guys are going to have to speak up if you want to ask a question.
Jenny, can you look at Euro Swiss, please?
Yes, ma'am. On what time frame, what strategy, and what?
Hang on. Let me pull my screen back up here. On the Stairmaster on the 4-hour.
Okay. So a Stairmaster would have happened here, right?
Hang on, now I got to go back to you. Just a second here. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Because if we're going off of the only set of current triple arrows we have on this chart, here, I'll even take this off. The only set of current triple arrows we have is a sell, correct? Because this is not valid yet.
Right.
So sell, 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 sell. This is a strong sell, strong sell, strong sell. You can enter here, but right now we don't have any indicators to sell. Any at all. I will say, like, according to naked trading, which is something I want to go over tonight, see this huge engulfing candle?
Mm-hmm.
That's the momentum candle. And you'll notice, you can't see it as well on the 1 hour, But we had this huge move, and then we came back up about 50% of it. So we'll just measure from the bottom of that candle. That's about only 30 pips. This is a pretty slow mover. Either way, we went up almost exactly 50% of that candle to retest it. So now I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of kept going down. But we do have some indicators that this might reverse. We have some background noise, guys. Sorry. So if you're not Diane, can you mute your line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on. Mute all. Just, all right, Diane, you can go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Hopefully that helped. But so like right now, we don't have another support and resistance kind of showing up yet. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so according to naked trading, we're below the 50. We kind of made a breakout move, retested, and naked trading, I would say this is going to keep going back down.
Okay.
But we're still, go ahead.
I had pulled a little out of it today, just doing some day trading with it. And I was just curious what you thought. I thought it was going to look like it might reverse too, but I just wanted to get your opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, if the euro turns around, a lot of people have the euros going up, euro NZD. Well, NZD is weak though, that's why. But either way, if the euro does turn around, great, but we have a ton of news. So like if we were to pick a pair this week, like Eduardo had said, NZD, would be a much safer bet. JPY, Canada, GBP, even the chef, Australian dollar, but really try to stay away from holding any euro or USD trades. There's just too much news.
Thank you.
GBP just had that, they just got a new prime minister, I believe, today. If I could be mistaken, I'm not too political when it comes to other countries at least. So, but just so you guys know, this looks like a good sell, but according to our Stairmaster strategy, this would be the Stairmaster. So anywhere in this area where kind of wasn't in the same direction as the triple arrows, right? So we're in the same direction. We get something like this, we have a breakout moment, we would take this as a sell, provided our other indicators are telling us the same thing. And again here, and I'll put my crosshairs out, this we would enter, because we have a lot of hours to see this move. And we'd know we're safe. We might have got into some drawdown if we got in late, not too much. But again, same story. For a Stairmaster trade, we'd be looking to sell this, and right now the confirmations aren't there. So this may be reversing, maybe not. We're not at a prime spot to be getting into this trade at this moment because, well, this looked like it was kind of coming up, obviously. It's still below the zero line, which is good. But now we've got our blue on top, which means we're not really looking for a sell at this point. So I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else with a question, a comment? Oh, let me see. You guys might have to talk to me, or maybe somebody could read me in the chat. It's not coming up. Use new PM. Boris Johnson. Oh, there you go. Yeah, sorry. Europe got a new prime minister. I'm sorry. Like I said, I don't want to be too accurate and be wrong because that's not good. But okay, any other pairs you guys want me to take a look at specifically? Let's see. As you know, we'd be going in the same direction as the 4-hour chart, no matter what trade we're taking. I mean, that's the highest level of success you can have is just taking trades. I don't care if they're Stairmasters. I don't care if they're triple arrow setups on the 1 hour, 30 minute, or 15. Something like the now and later, as long as you're going in the same direction as the 4-hour confirmed. Not 4-hour big arrow, because this has a big arrow in the 4-hour, but it's not confirmed. So not this one yet.
Hey Jenny, how you doing?
Hey DJ, how are you?
I'm good. I was wondering if we could take a look at CAD Chef.
Yes, sir. What time frame? What method?
For a sell on the 4-hour, and I guess the closest method would be is the Stairmaster. I really just got into it because it broke a fractal, but it immediately went against me when I did that. So I guess I should have stuck with the Stairmaster rules.
Well, no, honestly, some people trade exclusively just using the fractals. Like, so it's not bad. So you got in when I broke this fractal, yeah? Or this one?
The second to last one. So where your mouse was just at.
Yes, sir. Okay, so let's zoom in. This still is a good sell to me. We've got massive, so this bullish movement down, bullish movement down. This would be like a reversal pattern according to candlesticks and price action, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's not in our favor. If we click to a smaller time frame, like this looks to be just a pullback. Now, if it breaks this level, right here, and I would even give it a little bit more room to that average daily high. But if it breaks this level, we're looking for it to actually turn around. But for right now, you're in a seller's market all the way.
Even though it's a negative 30 pips.
Yeah, 30 pips isn't, well, on the 4-hour chart, granted this is a slow mover, 40 pips isn't much, right?
Okay.
And look, if we draw a trend line, we're still following suit. What I'd like to see is coming down. Worst case, it's going to make a bigger retest.
Okay.
So it could come back up and kind of retest this supply zone. So not supply zone, but the resistance, right? All this resistance is soft here, kind of on this level. It follows suit with the average daily high. And of course here. So if it comes back up and retest that before it makes a major jump, it still looks like a seller's market. So if I go down to the 1 hour, I hear your munchkins. How old are they again?
This one that's yelling is 2.5, but as went somewhere more quiet.
It's okay. I've had munchkins making noise, and I've worked from home, so.
Hey, so yeah, I was primarily using the fractal break last week, and I'm happy to say I had an 80% win ratio according to my FX book, and so this week it has really been starting out kind of bad doing that method though. That's why I'm kind of reconsidering just going back strictly to the Stairmaster, because I took 3 trades total and 2 of them lost, and this is the 3rd one right here that's in major drawdown. Okay,
so I don't think this was wrong. I mean, this wasn't the best one to enter because obviously hindsight's 2020. As you know. Hey, somebody's got some massive echo. Hold on. Let me mute everybody, and then I'll have DJ unmute. Mute all. Yes. All right, DJ, go ahead and unmute yourself.
I just did.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna go back to my VPS. So the fractal method is still super good, but it's very accurate. The problem is it's very late. So you got to think in order for it to break this fractal, it already had to make a big move. Same thing here, but it also means you're always going with the trend. So which fractal was it? Were you using the 1 hour or the 4 hour?
I was using the 4 hour. Usually I use the 1 hour, but I didn't see any opportunities on the 1 hour for this time.
Let's see. So the lowest fractal here would have been here. Would have only given you like 7 pips. So for the fractal breakout, I mean, you can totally do that, but try to stick with the 1 hour, not the 4. Because the 1 hour, typically when it breaks this fractal, it's still going to have a pullback. So it broke that fractal, it's going to have a pullback and then move in your direction. Going to have a pullback, move in your direction. But either way, you're making lower lows, and that's what we want to see. Now, this isn't very appealing. Neither are your daily dots. But again, my bias is your worst case scenario is it's going to come up here and then retest. It's just going to retest and have a nice pullback if it breaks this trend line.
Okay.
So, but it still looks good. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4-ish touches, give or take. What are the other 2 trades you took?
I took the NZDJPY for a buy on that was the 1 hour, I believe. And that was on Monday.
What time on Monday?
Let me see. I know it was around 9 a.m.
Okay.
It was like I took it right when it reversed. It was like as soon as it started going down, that's basically when I entered it.
Okay.
I believe it was like the 16 candle or something. 1600 candle.
Which also means you went against, hold on, what is today? Today's the 22nd, right? Or no, today's the 20. So.
I believe the 23rd. No, is it the 22nd?
Yeah, so this would have been yesterday. Let's see. It means you took it like right after we got a big arrow. But it would have been in line with the daily dots, so that's good. But it broke above those.
Yeah. Yep, and all my indicators on the bottom were saying it was a buy as well, and it broke right above it just broke above that fractal. And so I just assumed it was a good trade.
Okay, so if we zoom out, and it wasn't a bad trade, but it just wasn't a big enough one. So like for the fractal breakouts, and you guys know how I trade in terms of I protect my profits because, I don't know, somebody had posted a quote, I think it was Vincent, but it was something along the lines of, and I'm probably going to mess it up, trade management isn't about avoiding a loss, it's about controlling it. It says something like that. So like being able to control your money. I would have moved my stop loss up. So if you had got in on these fractal breaks, let's go back to the 1 hour, the odds are you were in profit by some amount. Like what broker were you using?
I was using Hugo's Way, and I can assure you I was not up by 10 pips for me to move my stop loss in the profit. I was watching it like a hawk.
Okay, so what I learned when I was working with fractals, and I kept making this mistake, I was talking to a buddy about it, it was frustrating me, is there's a lot of different ways to enter. So once it breaks this point, let's see, that right there is 7318, right?
I didn't get it right. I got it a little bit late. I mean, it was more towards like the tip of the of that. Yeah.
So that's how I was using them first. So watch this. From the tip, and this is a slow mover, mind you, to there, that's already a 3-4 pip difference, okay, depending on how you're looking at it or where on this candle, for example, you entered, because this is the candle that broke it.
Right.
So if once it broke you and it pulled back, this is a 1 hour candle, this would have almost been enough to close out in a 10 pip profit. Not quite, it's too slow of a mover. Not
Yeah.
quite.
I mean, and I noticed if I, like one of my friends that use fractals, he uses the exact opposite way. It's basically like the daily dots. As soon as he see a bearish fractal, he takes it as a buy, or a down fractal, he takes it as a buy. Like as soon as he sees that.
If he sees this fractal, he buys.
Yeah.
If he sees this fractal, he sells.
Well, if it's in the uptrend, he only takes the buys. If it's on the downtrend, he takes the sells.
And how is he determining the trend? I mean, that's the big question too.
He's using the 50 EMA.
Okay, that's what I do, as you know.
Yeah.
So if it's above the 50, he's only taking the buys. So he gets this, he takes the buy, and you can do it that way. Now doing it that way would be very comparable to doing it, because this is a reversal. Using the Stairmaster method, the daily dots or the 4 hour dots, those are reversals. You're trading reversals or with the trend. You're trading the pullbacks. Using the fractal breakout method is trading in the direction the pair is going. So it's literally the equivalent to like pending orders. This would be the buy stop if you were buying when this one broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were, how am I going to say that? If you were selling when this one happened, then this would be like a buy, I'm going to mess this up, buy limit. So a sell limit. Same fractal, two different ways to trade it. Buy stop when this breaks, which would be over here, right? To go in the same direction. Or a sell limit, so it hit this mark and it's going down. It's the same concept, just different ways to do it. So you would take all these sells, and you can totally do it that way, or all these buys, because it's in the same direction.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was thinking about starting a demo account and trying this way just to see how it works, because I do notice I would get more pips doing it that way. But it's just, I don't know.
More tips, yes.
It just doesn't seem as confirmed.
Well, I mean, it's in the same direction. So if you're only looking for buys, so for instance, let's stay on this pair. So we have our triple arrows. We break above the 50 with momentum, not just tickling it, right? Came back and retested, which this is a healthy retest. This is good for us, not bad. And then, of course, it rockets off. So every one of these, excuse me, so that, of course, we'd take that. I mean, these ones are weaker signals, but if you were going for less pips, they would be great, especially if you had to take profits on these. I mean, that's still 20, 30 pips. Again, and you'd only take the ones that actually line up with your other confirmations, okay? Yeah. So this one, for example, this was probably a news candle. It's all funky. You're getting a crossover above the zero line on the MACD. And of course, everything else is lining up. This right here is a really beautiful one, obviously, because it even turned out perfectly. But you can do that all the way up. Same concept as using the daily dots or the 4-hour dots.
Right. And what I'm noticing with the fractal, using that, you have a lot more entry opportunities than just using the dots.
Yep. But you have to trade it accordingly. So these dots would give you more pips. So for instance, if I were to create a strategy based off of this, or to give you some foundation, then again, you can create your own rules. If I had my 4-hour dots, so a Stairmaster trade, we're going to call it as it is, a Stairmaster trade. For this one, I would be going for like the entire ADR if it was like the first or second stair. If it was the last, if 2 or 3 stairs already happened, I'd only be going for half of it. Now, if I were to use the fractals, because there are so many entries, I mean, if I were to count this, this is probably 20, 30 entries, right? I don't know. It's a ton. Let's just say 15 even. So out of 15 entries, and I got 10 pips out of each of them, and I only watched one pair all day long. Well, that's many days. That's July 10th to the 19th, so approximately a week and a half, 2 weeks of trading. That's all I would do is I'd 10 pip this all the way up. And on the times where I got a Stairmaster with it, those are the times I'd go for more pips, or I'd make my higher lot size. And I keep stacking. You can have a runner or two, that's fine. But if you want to maximize your margin and turn a baby account big really fast, the best way to do that is to keep stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. But you want some of these to close. So like this one you can hold, okay? Hold this one, close this one with 10 pips. Hold this one, close this one. Or you can create your own rules that work for you that you kind of mentally understand.
That's actually a really good idea. I'm about to make a note of that, Jenny. Thank you.
You're welcome. 1 second, guys. I don't think so. Okay. All right, sweet turns, Angel. That's my youngest. We're getting adjusted to our new schedule. It's kind of awesome. This whole Eastern time zone is really good for trading. So, but anyways. All right, guys, well, then, yeah, that's a great mentality. But if you're going, you're right, this is the safest move. This one gives you the most pips. But if you're only taking the buys along with the trend, that's a great idea, DJ. It's a great way to trade. So let me minimize my VPS real quick to go to the chat to see if I have anything. Any other questions, comments, or pairs you guys want me to take a look at? Let's see. You might have to speak up because I don't have super visibility for some reason when I click on my VPS.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Brian, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Wonderful.
I got a question, right? I'm not in any trades right now, but I've been looking at the US 30. And I'm wondering, I'm like, doing the pip counts and all of that. And are them pip counts right, or do you adjust your pip counts for that, or is it that high?
US 30 is a beast. So first off, who's your broker?
I got Traders Way and AAFX now.
Okay, so I know this is AAFX as a demo account, so I'll show you specifically on AAFX. Every broker calculates some of these weird things a little bit differently, so me or anybody else should not be answering that, but something you got to know. But in general, they are right, scarily right. So as you'll see, I'm going to go down to a smaller time frame because this pair is no joke. You got to know that you know, because a pullback on this will blow a $100,000 account in minutes.
Wow.
So that's 600, 700 pips.
Right. Wow.
On the 15-minute time frame.
Wow. And I've been looking at it on a 4-hour and an hour time frame.
Yeah,
wow.
Don't do that. Like, I don't know what is your trading account balance, if you don't mind me asking publicly?
How what?
How big is your account balance?
Oh, I'm on 0 right now. I'm just looking at it. I ain't doing
Okay. So some brokers will let you trade bigger lot sizes with 100 or 200 bucks. But most people say don't mess with any indices until you have like 300, 400, 500 bucks minimum. And that your accuracy still needs to be like on point. Otherwise, again, one of these moves, one of these candles, because you have to think there's a spread, right? So this is a 44 pip spread on this broker. It's very high.
right.
But there's no commissions and no swap fees. So this is like the best broker you can use for like swing trades and holding it. Either way, there's no swaps, no commissions, you don't get charged any other fees. So it kind of balances out. So like for this move, if you got in because it broke the 50, you had enough other confirmations. Depending on your lot size, this could have been literally $100,000 in like a few hours, like an hour.
Oh, wow.
That's what this is.
Oh, okay. I need to come down to about the minute and 5 minute then.
Yeah, so to be honest, like I created a US 30 strategy. It's pretty much just using the 5-minute time frame. Because I find when I go any higher than that, I just get myself in a lot of trouble. Because even with accuracy, the pullback is just simply too high. It's way too high. And it's not good for me.
Okay. And I'm looking at it, right? And I mean, it looked like it's about to fall out the sky, but I'm scared of it, you know?
Well, you should be. I'm not to teach you guys fear. I don't want to teach you guys fear. And Robert, you're right. Most things across the board, it's always the second to last digit is the pip count that you're counting. So when you're counting like 27284 to 2147, the digits start at the second to last digit on almost every pair. Some cryptos are a bit different. Most of them are. JPY pairs are a bit different, and gold, of course, is a bit different. Gold is calculated differently, but most of them it's the second to last digit that you really count. But back to this pair real quick. This has been supposed to be dropping for, well, this is the 30-minute time frame. It's messy, but I'm going to do this on purpose. This was July 15th. Now I'm going to go to the hour. I should take off those fractals real quick. Okay. Let me take those off so it's not as dirty. If it will let me. Okay. I'm not going to zoom out. Oh, there we go. Delete indicator. So look how long this is supposed to have been dropping for.
Right.
This looks like it's bought out. It's overbought. It's overbought. It's overbought. It's overbought. And it keeps being overbought. And if we go back, like in history, this has been overbought for a hot minute. Let's see. This is 2016. That's kind of scary in terms of our U.S. economy. But so right now we're on the day chart. This is 2015. This is just continuously going up. We're due a fall that will make or break some people's bank accounts. This will make or break many, many billionaires. This one fall. But you're still going to want to know how to trade it.
Right. And the triple arrow system, though, right? I can still follow that on the US 30, right? I mean.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it works. The thing that I would suggest adding, and somebody else suggested it to me, let's see, is the 50 moving average. So right now we're on the 5-minute chart. We've got triple arrows. Okay. I turned these super easy dots, and actually I'll add some more. Let's see if I can find it. It's in here somewhere, supposedly. There we go. I'm going to allow. What I did for my US 30, and I played with this quite a bit, just so you know, I made this a 1-hour support and resistance. And the reason I did that, here I'll make it orange, was because we needed something a little faster than the 4-hour, but the 30-minute was too much, so it became irrelevant in 30 minutes. Okay. What I did was I only took trades in the same direction as the 1-hour support and resistance, and sometimes, yeah, it'll bust through that. That makes that trade invalid. But I want my 8 and 18 crossover. I want a couple of arrows in my direction, and I want it to break the 50 preferably. So your fastest entry would be something like this, or that 8 and 18 cross.
Right.
You have triple arrows, the 8 and 18 crossover, ADX is lined up, we're below the 50, well, that's currency strength, but I promise we are below the 50. And of course our MACD is kind of coming down, it had already crossed over. To me, this is my my fastest entry. My safest entry, which of course in this case would not have been super advantageous, would have been, I'm going to zoom out, if it will let me, let's see. This one that broke the 50, this next candle, I would have wanted this next candle to close below the 50, but of course it didn't. So in this case, I would still be waiting because I need that second. I need this to close below the 50, but if I had still saw this, I would have waited.
Okay.
No, I just deleted that, darn it. Whoopsie, but that's how I kind of traded US 30. I add the RSI and I have it pretty fast, and it works really well. But for US 30, once you're in the trade, so if you had taken this trade and once you're in profit, you always move your stop into profit. Because I'd rather close out with my quick 10, 20, or $100 than lose, $1,000.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's all you'd really be doing. It's not too hard.
That right there, the dots that you put on, that was the hours. You put it on the hours.
And I can even show you real quick since I have to put this up anyways. I know what I'm doing in theory. So we tried the 30-minute, but the 30-minute just became so much noise and it busted through so often that it was not necessary. It wasn't advantageous. Let's see. We'll try this to be white just to show you.
Okay.
So this is the 30-minute dots. This one doesn't look so bad because it's kind of lining up. But if you go to this one's lining up just fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't always. So like a few weeks ago, for example, it was just happening too frequently and invalidating it, making other trades invalid. And of course, it busted through just far too often. So we decided nope to that. That is what we did.
Okay, so I'll stick with the hour then.
Yes, sir. And please demo this because US 30 is going to make you a very, very, very happy man. And it's going to get addicting because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I just made $1,000. Oh my gosh, I just made 10 grand. Oh my gosh, I just lost $20,000. What am I going to do? You're going to, and that's just kind of how it goes. So
Okay.
demo it until you know your accuracy.
Right. Okay. I appreciate that. I was wondering, I like counting all them pips, and I was like, that can't be right. But I guess it is.
It is. And then again, every broker counts it a little differently. And there's a few exclusive brokers that have their own method actually to trading that currency or that indice more accurately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty fantastic. But sorry guys, I still have the old version of this little arrow. You guys have the new one where you don't have to do this, but I accidentally just deleted this little arrow. And I was trying to delete that line, so I'm going to add a new one. Bear with me here. But yeah, totally. You can do it. Just make sure you're wise about it. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to practice on a demo account first before I even try that.
Please do, because you'll be like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You'll be freaking out. There we go. Got it back.
Okay.
All right, cool. Thank you for your question.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if you're only using, let's see, trading in the Dow Jones with $100 is not a good move. That's correct, backspace, but just so you know, like for some brokers will allow you to trade what we think of as a standard lot on a $100 account, and they'll trade it as if they trade $1 per pip. It's kind of strange the way they calculate it because even their pips are charged differently. But it's good. It's possible, but you have to know your accuracy. And it's really kind of fun to flip a small account because you'll flip a small account, especially if you're like kind of exclusively saying, hey, this week I'm going to play with US 30. I'm not going to let any trade. It's like once you're up in profit, I don't care if it's a couple bucks, you always move your take profit, your stop loss into profit, and you just focus on US 30 all week. And this is the week you're kind of just promising that it's not hard to do. You can take a $100 account and turn it to 1,000, be smart, withdraw 800, go pay off a debt or whatever you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And next week, now you have an account ready for Forex and one for your indices. And you just kind of keep doing that. You'd be surprised how not hard it is when you focus.
Right. And one last question about that. So, okay, if you put a trade on at 0.1, right, it's $1 on the regular things, but on that would be $10 or $100.
Again, I don't want to answer that because I only know of about 20 brokers, which is a lot for one person in all fairness, but I don't know about the other 100 billion brokers out there. So having said that, I do know that there are some brokers that when you trade a standard lot, it counts as $1 per pip. I know that there's other brokers that will let you trade literally what they call a micro lot, which is literally a penny per pip, so as in 1 cent. Mm-hmm. But most brokers across the board, including the two you're referring to, AFX and Traders Way, 0.01 is the same as it would be for any other pair, but there's just a lot more. So it's 10 cents a pip.
Okay.
Just so before those two brokers specifically, and again, I don't want to speak on every other broker. And hey, you see this right here? I put this in the group. It's an indicator. Before you try going to sell this, please realize that everything in the world is still buying.
Right.
Just wanted you to know, that's all. And we're still above the 0 line.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. I hope that helps.
Oh, yeah, it did. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. All right, guys, any questions, comments, or pairs you guys want me to take a look at? Anything at all? Don't be shy. You guys haven't had Pat on here, so that's why I'm here. It's not for me. I promise. Anybody? Come on, don't leave me up here talking to myself. That's not fun. It's a little embarrassing, too. Like, I could say all kinds of weird stuff. Somebody's drawing on my screen.
It's DJ again.
Hey, DJ, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So another one of my trades I took this week that lost was euro odd. I took that for a sell. Also on Monday. I believe on the 1600 candle as well on the 1 hour.
9
And
a.m.
it's like,
Eastern time?
yeah. The reason why I took it is because it did have daily resistance back where I took the trade at, but it disappeared because it broke through slightly, and I count that as a breakthrough of the daily fractal. So I took it, and then it immediately went against me. And then today it got really close to going to break even and just shot right back up again. So.
Okay, so let's see. Somebody is for real drawing on my screen, maybe. Maybe not. Okay, so you took it on the 16th, or what day? The 21st?
Yeah, it was on Monday.
And you took it on the 1 hour chart.
Yeah.
Okay, so what indicators, DJ, what indicators do you have on your screen?
I have the MACD, the ADX, and the fractals.
MACD said the MACD true, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a peek. And that's the thing about like, yeah, you legit took it on that one candle.
Yeah, it's like it does that a lot. It just goes right the other way.
Okay, well then let's figure out why. So you have the MACD, say that again, ADX.
Yep, and just the fractals, and
Just
I got the triple arrow system as well in here.
Okay. So you would have been in line with everything. We made a lower low. And at that time we had daily?
Yes, it had daily resistance.
Well, yeah, there's daily resistance up here. But that I don't think that repainted. Granted, I don't know, but I don't think it did.
Well,
and again, go ahead.
When I first seen it, it had daily resistance like all the way back to when it first got to that level, and then I was waiting for it to break that level, and as soon as it did, all the dots disappeared. So I just looked at it like it was a green light.
So let's put the fractals back on here if it will let me. We're probably gonna lose every time I move this zoom bar. It like comes off my thing for some reason. That's okay. There we go. Let's go back to your entry. Okay, so maybe you need to take those only when you have these kind of, or look, like we just did, if you want a few more entries, you have some options, okay? You definitely have some options. What you can do is, like we talked about, taking the fractals the other way, which there are a lot of people who do that, or you can even add this on the 1 hour chart. So watch how many more entries you'll get. And like Pat was saying, some people have this on the, dude, they have it on the weekly chart, which to me is like absolutely insane, like, and irrelevant to me at all, because I don't care. That's way too high for me. But everyone has a different way of seeing things. So if you had seen this, if you need a few more entries, there you go.
Yeah, that's what it is. I feel like if I don't use the fractals, then I tend to miss the 4 hour dots. Like every time I look at it, it's like prices went too far away from it. But
Okay.
also where I entered at, that's not where I entered at where you have that line. It's actually over to that next one where it broke that same resistance, the 1400 candle.
There we go.
No, the 1400 candle 722.
Gotcha. This one wicked right up too. Let me see. So again, this is the candle that broke. No, I have an alert system. So for any of my coaching clients, I'm going to start giving them a couple of like EAs and little tools and stuff. But here's the deal. I have an alert system that like when it breaks this level, will give me an alert. But the thing is, nothing happens in real time like we think it does. Everything has somewhat of a delay. How much of a delay depends on your internet, your computer, your cell phone provider, your service, the make, the model of your, first vehicle, everything else in the world that we don't even realize is important. But either way, this candle is the one that broke that fractal. So how we go off of this fractal is down here technically, but this is where that low is. Do you see the difference in where the wick is? And here, it doesn't seem like much, but that's already 3 pips, right?
Yeah, but Jen, that's not the candle though that I got in on.
I know.
It was okay.
So we're talking about the most previous fractal. So how are you? I'm sorry. If it will stay still, silly butt. Okay. So this is the fractal. From where that wick ended, K is 136, to the widest part of the fractal. Either way, you're looking at 2 to 3 pips. It doesn't seem like much, but it's all relevant, okay? So this is the candle that broke that fractal, correct?
Correct.
Now, by the time that you got the alert, by the time you saw it, this had already pulled back a very healthy 5 to 10 pips. We'll just kind of round it because there's spreads and everything else. Then this next candle, I'm going to delete this line. There we go. Delete. This next candle, which of course wicked up. You would have seen that this candle was going up and must have been going up for you to get in on this candle, because for the first X amount of minutes of this hour, price was only going up, and then the last amount of minutes, X amount of minutes, that's how you created this huge wick and then pushed down. That's how you created, this candle was formed because the first 30 or 40 minutes it was going up. The last 20 or 30 minutes it was going down and kind of popped up a little bit and closed here, right?
Right.
This is the open, this is the close, this is the high, this is the low. Do you know that's how you read a candle?
Yes.
Sorry if you know that, and maybe for other people on the call who didn't know that. But so we know the candle closed here and opened here. So at the very beginning of that candle, and this is just, doesn't make anybody right or wrong, it's just helping you another way of seeing the market. So this is the candle you got in on. You were in profit by 20 or 30 pips had you sold there.
No, that's not the candle I got in on. I got in at 722. The date 722 on the 1400 candle.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought it was. I was like, fine, I get it. I was trying to. Okay, you're fine. I'm sorry. Oh, let's try this again. I was like, wait a minute, guy.
As you can see, like, it never was in my profit. It was never in my favor.
So you got in over here, 722.
Yeah, it was like right there at the tip of that end of the candle.
Which candle did you get in on? I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It was I got in right after this, so it was like, yeah, the 722 candle. I'm sorry, 722 at 1400, and it was like right at the end of it.
Yeah, you kept saying that. Okay. Well, there you go. I can't help you with that one.
That's the last
same concept. Yeah. I know, right? He was like, that's not the one. I'm like, it's okay. I'm trying to show you something. Just
so I was going to listen.
Sorry. Okay, but either way, the same concept applies. And this is what I was trying to show you. I'm going to make it bigger so y'all can see. This is the candle. And here, I'll draw a line. This broke that fractal here. So this is where it broke the fractal, correct?
Yeah.
Same kind of concept. This trade is almost always valid for 10 pips. In fact, me and a buddy have scalped using this very strategy. It breaks the fractal, I'm going for 10 pips. As long as it's on the right side of the 50, my other indicators line up, currency strengths line up. It's very heavily based on the currency strength. This strategy is almost always good for 10 pips, particularly with a lower spread broker like Hugo's Way. Sorry, let's see, let's make it a little bigger. I should just use this. There we go. almost always. So what I'm trying to show you, so that it's kind of the same concept. This is where that wick was. This is the base of the fractal. That candle happened here. So that's where it happened. Had you got in there, even on this not so perfect move, you would have easily got your 10 pips. That's what I wanted to show you. So
Okay.
even though, so I understand what you're saying. So again, this is where it broke the fractal. So let's say that you didn't see it, or maybe your alert system or whatever you have going on. This is the candle you got in on, same concept, which is this is the opening price, this is the closing price, this is the high, and this is the low. So at the very beginning of that candle, sorry, it's here. If you got in at the very beginning of this candle, the odds are, even with the awful spread, you still would have got your pips if you were going for 10. And that's not even the best case scenario, because what happened was it opened here, price pushed up, okay, by another 10, 11 pips, which none of this seems relevant. It all just seems like I'm talking numbers and talking in circles. And there's some truth to that in all fairness, but it very much so is relevant, because at this point, anywhere at this point, you would have got your pips. So even at this, well, not this one because that's a bullish candle, but no matter how you're looking at that, you got enough pips. If you got in at the end of this candle, the close, we're going to discount that baby wick, same concept, you got your 10 pips. If you got in on this candle, so you must have gotten at the very least possible place.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
What
It
broker
was
did
like I was on Hugo's way. Actually, Hugo's way, and I took it on my AAFX one.
AAFX is harder for scalping. I'm not going to fib. It's really great for swing trading because I can over leverage that account like no one's business. But you have to have the skill to do it. In all fairness, either way, I can max leverage that account. It's crazy, and then I never have to worry about fees. But on this one, if the spreads, you took it at 9 a.m., so the spreads weren't opening up. I don't know what the news was doing at that exact moment because I don't usually take a lot of trades on Monday morning. But either way, there's so many opportunities. Let's say you got in at the very last part of that wick. Yeah, you didn't really get enough. That's for sure.
I was watching too. I was hoping it was gonna give me at least 10.
Were you ever at all blue?
Briefly. I'm not sure if I just had it in my head or not, but I believe I seen it.
Okay. Well, again, for scalping purposes, this would have worked had you followed enough rules. So it broke this fractal fair and square. It had a new crossover, which I'm kind of a fan of. I would have taken it here because it's a crossover below the 50. And of course, everything else is lining up. And for a different strategy, I'd even have taken it at the break of that fractal. And it would have won for me because I would have got in here. Worst case, this candle opened here, went up. So if I had seen this was a bullish candle, opened here, somewhere, this is the, whatever, here, let me be accurate. Let's see. So at 1400, because this broker adds 5 minutes, this is 1400. So this is like 1430, 1440 or something. This is like when I would have saw it. So the price, I would have gotten in somewhere in this range anyhow. I would have got my 10 pips. And worst case, I've got a trade manager that would close me out. It's like, for instance, if it only went 7 pips into profit, it would have closed me out. So it wouldn't have let me go into the negative, essentially. So I trade really protectively. And my accuracy isn't because I'm like super knowledgeable or super smart. I mean, I've got a little more experience and I've learned a whole bunch. I'm definitely a student by nature, but it's because I trade very protectively. So this strategy would have worked for you if you took a better entry, but you took a late entry times 2.
Yeah. I think that was my issue with most of my trades this week so far.
Well, so what's your schedule like?
Typically I try to be up by 9 a.m. and look for my entries between 9 a.m. and noon.
9 a.m.
Because I figure most of the news passed by then, and the market should be pretty settled down by that time. Usually they are, but for some reason this week, on that 1600 candle especially, it seemed like the market just reverses. It's like it's doing the London breakout.
Okay, so remember I told you guys I was trading the 1500 candle, which is 6 a.m. So that's 8 a.m. So what time, you work nights, right?
Yes.
Is that you? Okay. Well, look at that, I'm remembering. So let's play around a little. So what time do you go to bed, your time?
Uh, it varies. Usually, I try to be in bed by 1.
How much sleep do you need?
Not more than 6 hours.
Okay, so what time can you get up?
Well, if need be, I could be up by 7 a.m. or 6 a.m.
I would do that. Because this 1500, so again, I did it mostly because I had to. And now I'm in a different time zone, so I'm looking at more trades at 9 a.m. to be transparent. So for Eastern time zone, it's 9 a.m. is a 4-hour candle change, 1 p.m. and then 5 p.m. and then again 9 p.m., 1 a.m., 5 p.m. So it's 9, 5, and 1. So that 9 o'clock time frame is great when you're using the 4-hour time frame. When you're looking for a scalp or you're looking for just basic moves, a lot of stuff pops off at this 1500 candle, and even that sometimes is late. So like if I had sold this, here I'm just going to show you what the 1500 candle is, which isn't too much earlier because you were using the 1600 candle, right?
Right.
The close of it or the open?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I just know my trades tend to fall on the 1600 candle.
Okay. So this is just to show you if it will. Maybe. I'll delete this one. It's probably a weekend anyway. Delete. Oh no, silly butt. Delete. So this is the 1500 candle. So the 1500 candle is what time for you? Because the 1600 is 9 a.m. So the 1500 is 8 a.m. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
This is the 8 a.m. candle, and yet technically it's before the U.S. news. But this is when you're going to see like a lot of good moves. And go back and test this because I did. So 1500 candle for me right now, where I'm living now, is 8 a.m. And to me, it's like perfect. So you're still missing some of the London moves, but we don't want to trade London, so we're going to skip that topic. Either way you look at it, when this breaks this point at the 1500 candle, you've got to trade. When this breaks this point, so we have hour resistance and 4-hour resistance. This is against it, granted, but either way, you've got to trade. Same concept, you've got to trade. And if you go back in history, pick a few pairs, preferably Canadian pairs, because that's open during the U.S. market. Preferably some USD pairs, again, that's open during the U.S. market. But any one of these, trying to go for 10 pips, when you have enough confirmations, don't take every trade. You can only take 1 or 2 at a time, especially if you're leveraging properly anyways. Same concept. So this was the first one I was trying to show you and I was wrong. You would have gotten in just fine there. And same concept over here, you would have got enough pips. Okay, if you had taken that trade. But this one right here, this was reversing. You've got a bullish candle. So depending on how you trade, what indicators you're using, no matter how you're looking at this, you would have got enough pips, one way or the other. Buy, sell, or scalp, it doesn't matter. Just trade in the direction it's going. Any one of these time frames, you get enough pips. Any one of them. But that time to enter, 9 a.m. is going to work best for USD pairs. So get really good at USD pairs. Like let USD CAD become your friend. I'm not a big fan of UJ, but USD CAD, NZD USD, there's a few pairs that are non-Euro based, USD based that trade real well during New York. Euro JPY trades real well during New York. Many GBP pairs trade real well during New York. So you guys know, but you can still create a great regiment based off of your schedule, but you have to know what you're looking at.
Okay. I wrote all that down. I'm about to go ahead and back test those candles too, just to be able to see for myself as well. Thank you, Jenny. I really appreciate this.
You're welcome, DJ. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.
Yes. All right. I'm checking the chat, guys. Hey, Irving. How's it going?
Hey, Jenny. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm super happy to be in Florida. It's so warm here. I got a beautiful office. It's awesome. How have you been?
All right, same here. Hey, I got a quick question.
Yes.
How do you remove those vertical lines that were in your chart a couple minutes ago? Or
So press
something,
Control Y.
something that I don't know how to remove when it comes.
So you can press Control, what is it, Control Y,
Con-
and they'll come up, right?
repeat the comment again.
Control Y will remove them, the period
Okay.
separators. And then like if you go to your properties, you can also do it right here. Just click them off, and there you go.
Oh, that was easy.
You're
Thank
my
you.
friend.
By the way, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. I super appreciate you. You're doing awesome too. You're setting up so many people, and I keep sending them all your way. I said that you're the best, so they'll keep coming to you as the team grows. You got it.
Yeah, and one thing, maybe other will be listening to your message. When our team members send me private message through Telegram, please don't make it secret, because when you make it secret, it's really hard for me to. I try to monitor everything on my PC, and it's hard to work from my phone and then dealing back and forth. So just make it like normal text, and then we're gonna be trading. Sharing idea easily by typing on my keyboard instead of doing on my phone.
I know, right? Hey guys, yeah, so when you make a message via Telegram, here, actually, I'll kind of do that right now. I'm going to minimize this. I think that a lot of people don't even know how. Hold on, let's go to new share.
No, they make it secret, so they have to.
I know, but I don't think they know how to do it. Like, I don't think they know how to send a message. So I get all those secret messages when I reply back with like, hey guy, I don't respond to secret messages because I don't want anybody like sending me weird stuff or inappropriate stuff. Like I just don't do that. So we're right now on, you guys can see my Telegram, right?
Yes.
Who's somebody I haven't messaged yet?
Try to send me a message. See if maybe.
So I'm gonna go to super easy. Oh, that won't work. Sorry, guys.
Try to send a message to the new person, Brianna, whatever her name is, the new person that just joined.
Let's do that. Who's the newest person? I'll see it, right? Here we go. So send a message. If I do it from my computer, it just says send a message. But if you guys are doing it from your phone, for some reason you guys are saying send a message and it's coming up as secret. Like, and then of course we can't undo that. So it's just coming up on ours as like some secret person is just sending us a message, and it's hard to reply. It's really hard to reply.
Oh yeah.
It's a pain in the butt. So yeah, that's all. If you guys go to your computer and do it, you'll find it way easier. It's not hard at all, and he makes a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, because it's hard for me. Sometimes I don't pay attention to my phone, and then I just when I look, I have a whole bunch of messages, and I have to answer. And sometimes I'm super late, trying to help others and newbies, because my goal is to make sure everybody's up and running quick, so they can learn the system. But unfortunately, when they do secret, it really make the job harder than what it is.
It is, definitely. Hey guys, so make sure when you send us a message, a private message, please go to your computer and PC, click on send our name, and then you can click send a message. But for some reason, we probably get, I don't know, 50 secret messages a day, and we just all those because we don't know what they are, who they're from, or what they want. And then if we can't see it, we don't know what it's about. Then you have to like unlock it and then allow it, and it's really a pain in the butt actually. So definitely.
Yep, but thank you for everything what you do.
You're welcome. Thank you as well. I look forward to hearing from you more soon.
Thank you.
Guys, if you don't have a trade for this week and you want something to hold, I'm an odd CAD. You're going to want to wait for a pullback, which means you may miss it. Not going to fib. This is not a fast mover, but this is moving down real heavy. I'd expect it to kind of pull back some to like maybe this support and resistance, this area right here. And then I'd be looking to sell it. It may or may not even come back to test. You can do a tiny baby lot size for now, just in case it has a pullback, and then you can just stack it, stack it, stack it. I mean, at minimum, you'll get your 10, 15, 20 pips out of it, but I'm expecting this to go down at least 30, 40 pips, give or take. So,
Jenny, quick question on actually a comment on Sunday when I was doing my weekly analysis. One of our team member of our group brought something very, very interesting about the ADR, and he usually loves to get in on pullbacks. So I asked him, I was like, how did you do it? Because sometimes you learn as well by listening other ideas and a different mindset. And he was mentioning that as soon as the ADR goes above the high or either the low, probably like 2-3 bars, once it breaks either the low or high, he usually take the trade in that particular area. And I was like, like checking. I haven't taken any trade yet, but when I was doing the back testing on live trading, I realized that the pullback usually happens in that particular area. So maybe that if someone is like you were saying earlier about the 10 pips, if they want to, look into getting into those 10 pips like that, that's something very easy to accomplish. In this particular,
this ADR, so every ADR high or ADR low, or do you mean the ADR like the overall how much it's moved?
like this is not a perfect sample on the one that you are, because the ADR is very wide, but there is some ones where they are very close and they have already break the low, either the high, and like 2-3 candle after that, usually that's when the pullback happens. So probably they can jump in and grab, a couple pips and get out.
Absolutely, guys. So if it breaks support and resistance, or if it breaks the ADR high or the ADR low, and again, when we say break, we want a closed candle. That's what counts. If it doesn't close, it doesn't count. And so if it breaks this ADR low, it's going to be a couple candles, and you're right. If it's going to come back and retest, that's a great way to trade, because this is no different than support and resistance. It's an averaged out weighted support and resistance. This one's weighted by 14 days. That's all this is. So that's a great idea. When it breaks it, come back, retest, and go. Of course, you want your other indicators lined up. Always, always, always. So thank you, Irving, for sharing that. That's awesome.
Yeah, another thing that I do that it helps me a lot to be on the winning side is my number one rule that I do before I jump into any trade. I zoom out through the chart and I try to look the entire picture of the trend. Because like right now, the way you're seeing it, a lot of people trade just by looking the triple arrow. But like for instance, like that, right? I put my trade like that, my chart like that, and then I have a better idea what is the trend doing in that particular area. So that gives me an idea, or okay, is the bullish is exhausted or the bearish is whatever. But it's easier for me to be on the winning side just by doing that. That's my number one rule. If I don't do that, I don't trade, because I have to look at the entire picture exactly like that.
It definitely is. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to go over real quick, and then I think we'll call this a night. Let me see if I can't pull up a brand new pair. Let's go to EU, new chart window.
You know who paid me really well yesterday? Today, EG. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this person since May. I've been patient until like, wow, I was extremely happy. So right now it's doing a pullback. So hopefully I'm looking at pullback to be on the 89,975. But it's good. I mean, I'm happy on that.
Yep, it's in a pullback right now, but it's finally dropping.
Oh,
we've got enough momentum. Like, people have been holding this forever.
I enter right on the top of the big arrow, right on the big wick on the bearish. It's just, oh my God, I'm so happy. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your patience. That is so not easy to accomplish. Most of us do not fare well when our patience is tested that long. You're talking months, right? You've been holding that for months.
May I be patient. But I mean, I tried other ones, but that was one of my on my to-do list to get in, but I was just not ready when I wanted to do it.
Well, that's awesome.
Until now.
That's fantastic. We finally have a drop, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. So,
Yep.
yes, sir. Let's see, where can I get the, so the ADR, that's in the group, it's in the notification channel. Let's see. Yes, secret is default from the phone, but we have to figure out, like, that's why we're saying go to the computer to do it, because otherwise we get a lot of secret messages, and then of course we don't know how or who to respond to. And especially when you're trying to help a lot of people, you're talking hundreds of messages that are coming in, just so you know. And then you want to honor everybody, but you're only one person. So if the people who are going to be kind of missed over a lot of times are going to be the ones who are sending these secret messages. And me being a girly, and the amount of indecencies in the world, like I don't answer a bunch of secret messages on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere. So if you can talk to me like a person, I'm all for that, but I just don't do the secret stuff. So let's see, the ADR plugin is in the group, and fractal strategies, there's about a dozen, and I mean, you can probably look them up on YouTube. The two most common would be simply, hold on, let's do this. I'm on this pair. Let's go to here. Let's see. Speak on fractals. So fractals are your friend. They're made from the same guy who made, so Bill Williams, like he made the alligator and a couple other things. But either way, which is a predictive indicator, by the way, when the fractal happens and you're going in, so when it breaks this high, you're going in the direction of the trend. This is one way to trade them. So it broke this fractal, you're buying. 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 As DJ was saying, that's not always foolproof, because again, you broke this fractal and you didn't make enough of an impact to turn a profit, and now you're selling. So the cool thing about trading it this way, and this is just, you're going to find your own way, guys. I can just show you what I know, and again, Irving will pop on here, Pat will teach you what he knows, and at the end of the day, you're going to get all this accumulative information and be able to say, okay, I see the charts this way, to show you some things that I see. The reason why I like trading the fractals the way I do is because it's like trading with the trend. You're going to be wrong once, you're going to be wrong twice. Every other way, every other trade you take, you're going to be accurate. So if you're only taking the directions in the trades in the direction of the trend, this is price 50, big arrows are saying buy. So we're taking this trade, it broke. Any price that breaks above this fractal, the most previous fractal, we're buying it. Broke above that fractal, we're buying it. Broke above this fractal, we're buying it. Broke above this fractal, we're buying it. So it broke above, this is a fractal. Well, see, here's one. Didn't break it, here's one. We broke it right here, and now we're buying. We broke this one, and now we're buying. Every one of these would be right. Here's a fractal high. It broke right here. We're buying. So every one of these trades is right until the trend finally reverses. So it broke above this one, we were right. And now broke above this one, it was wrong. You didn't get enough of a move, it reversed. So the way I see it is when you're trading with the trend, either way you do it actually, you're going to be right literally however many times so however many trade setups you see, let's just say it's 100, you're going to be right 98% of the time. 1-2% you're going to be wrong if there were 100 trade setups, for example. Same concept trading them a different way. And there's actually like 5 or 6 ways to trade them. I'm going to go over the 2 most common. So DJ was saying that a friend of his actually uses the opposite, which is the same, but a different way of seeing the market. So you have triple arrows right here, big arrow, little arrow, yellow arrow. 818 cross, broke the 50. This is our confirmed move. Everything's lining up. This is a full confirmed triple arrow. We are buying. We are above the 50. So the other way to trade it is we're now confirmed that this is a buyer's market. So when we get a low, we would buy it. And in this case, when this bottom fractal appeared, we actually kept making lows. So it would have went against you for a little while, and that's okay, because you would have been right. So we have another low, we'd buy it. Another low, we'd buy it. This fractal to the downside, it basically means price stopped here. It's kind of like our buy sell lines. So we'd buy, we'd buy, we'd buy, because again, we're only taking the trades in the same direction as the 50 moving average and our triple arrow confirmed. We'd buy this one, we'd buy this one. And again, this is going to be right more often than not. I don't personally trade this way, so I don't want to test how often it's right. But in theory, same concept. You'll have some drawdown, but you'll be right 98% of the time. So this kind of move would stink in terms of doing it. DJ, can you see this?
Yes, I see it.
So the problem with doing it is like, do you see all these right here all saying to buy? In theory, they're all going to be right eventually. So you would have bought, you could have bought, and this one would have been perfect. But then you would have bought here, and I don't know if you closed that or not, but then these moves, a lot of them, you're still going down. See that? And so that kind of stinks. But in theory, if you had a big enough stop loss, this is all going to be right until you get to, well, that's the cool part, because at the end of this move, you don't have that whole I was wrong this time, because you'd still be right, right? Let's go to this one. You'd still be right. So, yeah, those are the two main basic ways to trade them. There's like 5 others, but those are the 2 most common. And some people move their stop loss up according to those, according to Heiken Ashi candles. So there's a lot of different ways to see that. Let's see. Fractals are set at standard. There's no way to change them. So you can make them bigger and smaller, which technically changes the outcome, but there's no need to. So as for indices, there's not a lot I can say about them. I've only started playing with them in the recent months, and most of that was just playing. To be transparent, I find sticking to Forex and learning Forex to be the most lucrative thing you can possibly do. Yes, you can technically get like 1,000 pips and 5,000 pips in a week trading US 30 and German whatever. Yes, you can do that. The problem is to effectively compound that and to effectively grow your account from, say, 500 to just 5,000 or 500 to 50,000 in a reasonable time frame. And in order to do that consistently, you need to have a consistent number of pips and a consistent strategy in which you're increasing your lot size and increasing the amount of, without increasing the amount of risk you're taking, you're increasing the amount of money you're making by compounding effectively. The problem with indices is you really can't effectively compound your account as quickly. So the best way to trade indices, if you're asking me, is to take trades only in the same direction as like the 1 hour, 30-minute, and 15-minute charts, and only take the trades on the 5 and 15-minute charts fully confirmed. Always, 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 always move your stop loss up. I don't care if you're in a baby amount of blue, like a tiny, tiny bit. Get your feet wet. Get, as the expression goes, your first taste of blood. Get your feet wet and take your tiny bits of money. But please don't go trading indices and then say, oh, I was in profit, so I was going to leave it room to breathe. Because room to breathe on an indice can blow your account like you've never seen. So once you're in a little bit of blue, it's okay if it comes back and takes you out, but just don't take a loss if you can avoid it, especially not until you get better. Like, because you can baby grow an account like over and over again. And the last thing I'll say about indices is in terms of compounding, every 5 or 6 trades, you can increase your lot size. But I found that to be the most effective in terms of compounding. I am a beast at compounding, and I don't even have like the perfect strategy for compounding indices yet, because there's just too many variables to make it like consistent, at least if you're asking me. So I hope that helps. Let's see. Oh, I don't have a super naked chart, and this is what I wanted to show you guys. So I'm going to take off the ADX real quick. This is actually what I wanted to start the call doing, but I did not, so I'm sorry. I'm going to go to OddCAD, which I'm actually in this pair on my live account. It was amazing. It was perfect. I got set up for the 8 and 18 cross, and of course we have the 4-hour resistance. So I'm going to take off the daily dots. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete even all of my EAs. Not EAs, I'm sorry, my moving averages. The last thing I want to show you is this. All things aside, all triple hour systems, everything that me, you, and the guy next door tells you. When you guys look at this chart, you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be, a genius in any way. I'm sure that we can look at this chart. I'm going to close that and see that what is this chart doing, you guys? In the big picture, 4-hour chart, what is this chart doing?
Down.
Yep, who said that? That's why I can't see my Zoom. This is going down. So there's no amount of indicators. There's no amount of Jenny or anybody else who gets to decide otherwise. Come on, Father. What are you being weird for? Delete. Try this again. No matter how you look at this chart, it is going down.
Yep.
So anything you can do to stay in this down trade is to your benefit. In this case, it happens to have a new triple arrow system or set up on the 4-hour right here. I'm sure it had one here, probably one here. But these were all setups according to our indicators. But when you look at this, naked as can be, naked as a baby's butt, this is still a down trade. And until we break downtrend, until we break that trend line, that's not going to change. And when we go back in history, you don't have to be able to chart effectively. There's no perfect draw it at the wicks and draw it right here. Use a line chart, use Heiken Ashi candles, or use this candle. None of it really matters at the end of the day. It's all reasonably enough effective. So we're going up. We finally broke that trend, came back and retested, and now we're going down. So until we break that and retest it, this is still a downtrend, no matter what anything else tells us. And we can do this over and over again. So watch.
Jenny.
Yes, it's a good one.
Jenny, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do this a lot too. This is serving, by the way. I do this a lot. I put a lot of trend line, and once I know the trend is trending down, can you zoom out a little bit? Okay, that's it. That's too much.
Okay.
Right there. So I usually, what I do is I put a trend line between when it's like, for instance, let's say that, how can I?
You make a flag. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I do, but I do it from the bottom, exactly like that. As soon as that breaks below that, then I continue. That's when I enter my sell position. Perfect. That's it.
Exactly.
As soon as I do that,
you can do that. You can do that. Get an auto trend. I use an auto trend line. That's how I do it.
I mean, that's it. Trading is easy if you just make it easy.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's all I do. There's multiple entries, and then by verifying it with a triple arrow, oh my God,
It makes it much easier. Once my trend line don't break, I don't bother myself. I move on to the next pair.
Yeah, you see, like the last one that she just draw in there, that's a perfect. As soon as a small candle breaks the trend line, then that's your entry.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where. So that's what I was getting ready to say, gentlemen. So looky, we have this big trend down. Everyone can see it. You don't need to be a rocket, star. You don't have to be anything. This is going down. When price comes back up, it won't always retest the trend line. Okay, so we're not that naive, but we do know it's going to kind of have a pullback whenever it breaks that. So these are called flags and whatever. So the flag and the pull, which I can't see that, but like Irving was just saying, it's all it takes, guys. We now have a perfect break. We had a pullback, very healthy pullback, and now we broke that. We're going to continue in this direction. Boom. So whether it makes a head and shoulders or a crown or whatever other formation, boom. And you can even do that on these baby ones, just like, who was the other gentleman speaking? There was somebody else speaking. So this one, Irving, would you count this one too, right?
Yes. I just love to add my trend line, and I write I only on the pairs that I'm interested in. I do this, but like that's it. That's all I do. And there's multiple entries in that way.
So you can re-enter or you can stack. Was that a gentleman speaking up?
Yeah, hi, it's Jeff.
Hey Jeff, how are you?
I'm good. Where would I take profit if let's say I'm using something like that? Where would the take profit be?
First off, personal preference. Everything in trading needs to be personal preference. But for instance, let's just take this trade right here. So let's get rid of the past. Let's talk about now, right? So we were going up. We broke that trend line. We retested it, right? So let's get rid of this. Let's say we don't know this happened yet. Silly me. Hold on. Delete this one. Let's say we don't know this happened yet either. So let's just go off of this first move. Okay. We were going up. We broke the trend line. We retested the trend line. And this is where we entered. The odds are we have triple arrows in that direction. We probably have a perfect Stairmaster right here. Triple arrows and Stairmaster. If somebody wants to confirm that, that's on the 16th of April. I would love you if you would do that for me. 16th of April and the 29th of April. Do we have a triple arrow and a Stairmaster while I explain this to Jeff? So we took this trade, right? So we took an entry. Let's just say right in here. Okay. Let's say we didn't get a perfect entry. We have a little bit of a late entry. There's a lot of days and hours in between here. Odds are this is a perfect Stairmaster trade and a perfect triple arrow. But either way, you could either go for half of the ADR. You could have had a trailing stop set to where like once it retraced a little bit, like up to here, you're knocked out. A lot of people have a flat amount of pips they go for. It makes it very easy to compound and pay their bills. So some people go for only 30 pips. That's all they needed. Some people only go for 50. That's all they needed. Some people will let a lot of runners happen. It's totally up to you. But or of course you can use the Fibonacci trend lines, like the ones in the group, which are fantastic if that's your thing. For me personally, I would tell you need to create your own rules.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know what I found out? It becomes easier once you follow what you can see in the market.
Yes, thank you.
Like one thing I came up with is you don't make money from what you want to do. You make money from what you can do. And
Well
in the market, there are multiple things that we can do. So we just got to figure out which one is it, and then kind of follow that. Yeah.
That's exactly.
But also, I figured out the one thing I figured out with the daily dot is that once I go to the H1, it's pretty much the triple arrow, the crossing the 50, and then a pullback, the very first pullback. And so I don't even look at the daily dot anymore. I just go to the H1 and follow that.
That's awesome. And is that working for you?
Yeah, it's working pretty good.
Thank you, Catherine. I appreciate you.
It's kind of like pulling back to the 38 of the Fibonacci.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, and that's a very, very common thing. Hey guys, Catherine just confirmed to me via chat we did have triple arrows right there. So we had triple arrows right there. Odds are perfect Stairmaster. And to answer your question, yes, you gotta trade what you see. But either way, had you just gone for 50 pips, had you just gone, so for me, I would have one larger position where I'm going for like half of the ADR or just the ADR, depending on what pair and what time frame. And then I'd have one runner. So my runner position would be give or take 1 to 5% of a large account. And my larger position would be 10 to 20% of a large account. If it was a baby account, I might even do is 30 or 40%. Well, the highest I usually do is like 37, and that's being really cocky, in all honesty. So I like to stick with 33 or less. It's kind of a lucky number for me. But for that, I do a big lot size. And then I'd have a runner going. And I might stay in this, however. Or I could be super smart and keep stacking the same trade. It had a pullback, I got back in. It had a pullback, I got back in. It had a pullback, I got back in. Again, just because you're still with the trend. I got back in, and right here I got back in. Got back in.
Nice. I like that right there. I like it. I like that. Okay, so if you have a runner, where, because right now I'm good with the half of the ADR, but I don't know where to take profit. If I have a runner, I don't know where to exit. I'm thinking of waiting until I see triple arrow, but sometimes it doesn't. It just kind of bounce back of the channel, and then just I'm out of the trade.
Well, yeah. So that's the problem with having a runner is most people are unaware of how to manage their account or leverage their money or handle their margin. So if you're having success with half of the ADR, stick with that until you can withdraw a few times. In terms of your runner, that's again up to you. So like you can put like 100 or 200 pip take profit and say, hey, my first take profit is 30 or 50 pips and I'm happy with that. And my runner, if it gets to 100 or 200 pips, I'm happy with that. Even if I missed, again, this is a slow mover, guys. So that's already 250. So we broke the trend there. We had a more confirmed move here. So altogether on a very slow moving pair, this is 430 pips. One moment, young man. One moment. I love you. Okay, sorry about that. So either way, this is 400 pips. Like if you're happy with your 100 pips, take it. We don't need 1,000 pips to change our lives. We don't need 1,000 pips to change other people's lives. We just need a consistent number of pips to make our lives and other people's lives different. That's it. That's all it's going to take. So, yes. Lawrence,
that's pretty much it.
You are welcome. Hey guys, I'm actually going to call it short. I'm going to answer Lawrence's last question here. I decided to commit to the triple arrows for a lot of reasons. I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of different groups. I am active in a couple other groups, and they're great groups. There are some really good people in between some of them, but the best people I've found and the people that I'm most honored and blessed to be able to work with are people like Pat. And the biggest reason is like he just has a different vision. So I work with some people who make, ridiculous amounts of money. I work with some people who have ridiculous amounts of skill. And a lot of people want me to coach for their groups and their teams and their what have yous. But the reason why I decided to fully commit to the triple arrow system was first and foremost, I made more money with the triple arrow system than I did in years with IMO, in years with some very, 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 very high up traders. I mean, traders who trade insane lot sizes publicly. I mean, the kinds that blow you away with their success, right? I've made more money sticking with the triple arrow system and working on my discipline because I was taught early on to make rules, but I never did, to be honest. And then I thought I did, but then I didn't follow them, if I'm, again, being honest. I was taught early on to have a trading plan, which I had one that I never used. So I think that working with Pat, it helped me grow emotionally a lot and handle my emotions in trading. Again, I am a woman, so I still think very emotionally, if we're being kind of honest about who we are. And Pat had a vision. Like Pat, it wasn't his success because success didn't impress me. Again, I've had houses, I've had money, I've had no money. I've been on all sides of those tracks anyways. It wasn't the success that impressed me. It was his humility. And then when he talks, he doesn't talk in the way of Mercedes-Benzes and Maseratis. When he talks, he doesn't talk because he wants to go buy another fancy mansion or a Corvette or a whatever. He talks in a way that's just very humble, let's pay our bills, let's be good people, let's raise our family to be good people, let's raise our sons and have honorable marriages, which I think that unfortunately in today's world there are too many people who have a lot of money and lack a lot of integrity. So the reason why I stuck with and decided to work with the triple arrow system exclusively, I do help out in a couple other groups, but only minimally. This is the only group I actually coach for and work with one-on-one. It's because first off, this is where I made the majority of my money, and I think that's only fair and ethical. And second off, I think that I was blown away. And you can kind of learn a lot about people. Pat is in a similar position to kind of where I've been, which is we already had the big house. Like we already had the amazing house with lots of land, and it really isn't that great. It's a lot to clean, and it's not it's not what you think. I mean, we've had the expensive products and we've earned it, we've lost it through good reasons and through bad. And I think that Pat is at a point where he's not looking to be a billionaire. He's not looking, and I may be speaking out of turn, and I don't think I am, but I know his heart. I'm pretty confident of that. He's a good person, and he's probably not a perfect person. None of us are, but I know he's a good husband, and I know he's got some integrity, and I know he has a vision of making the world a different place, not just making his bank account wider and buying another Maserati. So that is what made me say, hey, these are the kind of people I want to work with. This is the kind of group I want to be involved with just, again, none of us are perfect. We all are human, but I want to be around like-minded people who have a bigger vision, who want to make the world a better place, and who want to just make a difference, because stuff is going to go. Stuff is definitely not going to make us any bit of a better person. It's just more stuff we have to clean, sell, get rid of, replace. It's really not all that great. I mean, it sounds great when you're at a place where you can't pay your bills, but once you get it, what's the next vision? I mean, is it going to be to buy backpacks for, the 100 kids in Kentucky right now who have never had a backpack? Could you guys imagine? Not all of us have came from a lot. I came from a mother with 6 kids. I did not come from a lot. But there are kids who have never had a backpack. I mean, there are children who have never had a lot. So for me, I stuck with this group because I see a bigger vision, and I want to see that come to pass. I want to see a good 10, 20 of us making at least 6, 7 figures minimum, who are in this different mindset and want to maybe create a nonprofit, like a legit nonprofit, that we can seriously make some massive impacts around the world. I do have a lot of experience in the nonprofit arena and how to create a really effective nonprofit that can make a difference. And I'm super excited about that. So I hope that answers your question, Lawrence, that is all I was looking to accomplish. Was I want to be with people who see more than just dollar signs, because dollar signs are great, but then for what? I mean, there's got to be more. It's got to be for something bigger, to show people that you can have money and it's not the root of all evil, that you can have money and you can make a difference. You can have money and still be humble and wear basic clothes. You don't have to have a Gucci belt. You do not need $9,000 shoes and a $5,000 bag. Nobody needs that. Even if you have that money, why in the world are you going to buy that $3,000 belt? That's insane. So that's just me, though. I don't know if that answers your question, but I sure hope that helps. That's it. Let's see. All right, anyways, guys. Yes, well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. Go ahead. Who was that talking? Was there a gentleman trying to speak up before I kept talking and rambling? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. Well, it's not short. It's pretty long. But my little guy is coming in here. He wants to cuddle. I'm going to say goodnight to you guys all. It was awesome hanging out. We will definitely be on tomorrow night. Please come with any questions, comments, or charts. I want to show you guys some basic supply, demand, support, and resistance tomorrow. That's kind of my game plan. And just the most basic things, because all the indicators in the world are not going to make us a better trader if we can't see something with our own 2 eyes. So I'm really hoping this is helping, and have a fantastic night. God bless and sweet dreams, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jenny.
You're welcome, Drew.